Hey Guitar Gang, how's it going? So, this is a lesson that's again not the most interesting, let's say, um, not the sexiest stuff to practice, but it is possibly the biggest single skill that you can work on that's going to have the most bang for your buck in terms of becoming a better guitar player and becoming a better musician, and that is to train your ears. And I've recently put a ear training lesson together for you, um, and this is a subject that I could literally talk about for hours, because it's so important. And we play music with our ears, not our eyes, and to a lesser degree, we don't play it with just our fingers. It's about connecting the mind and the inner ear and the fingers and the picking and everything all together. The glue that holds all of these elements together is your ear training and your understanding and your recognition of notes and sounds and chords. The thing that I would massively encourage you to get started with, whatever you think your level is, whether you class yourself as a beginner guitar player or like an intermediate guitar player or even an advanced guitar player, this is the sort of thing that you will never get tired of training. You might get bored of doing it, but trust me, this is something that you need to do. So I want you to start figuring songs out by ear more often. I want you to rely on tabs less. I want you to rely on YouTube videos a lot less. Instructional materials generally, I mean, they're still really helpful, obviously. But when it comes to learning songs, I really, really encourage you. I'm really doubling down on this. I want you to use your ears. I want you to have bulletproof confidence that what you're hearing in your inner ear and what you're hearing in your outer ear matches, and you're able to translate that, you're able to audiate that, you're able to say that on your instrument. That is my biggest goal for you. And again, this isn't necessarily what you would want to practice, but trust me, it's what you need to practice. Again, some things that I'm saying may not boost my retention rate, may not boost my bank balance as a teacher, because these are things that you don't want to practice. And students quit over things like this, and they quit because they feel overwhelmed or inadequate with it. But trust me, this is a skill that you can develop, and it will take your musicianship and your guitar playing to not just the next level, but levels you didn't even know existed and you might not even be aware of right now. So, as passionately as I can say this, train your ears. Start using your ears more. If you want to transcribe music, even if you want to tab stuff out, that's amazing. Whether you just want to work out songs by ear, whether you want to be able to improvise, wherever you just want to play really fucking well, you need to train your ears. So we're going to focus mainly on a few exercises to do this. The first one I've set out earlier is to take theme tunes, TV theme tunes, film scores, little bits of it, film themes, nursery rhymes, very really easy traditional songs, Happy Birthday, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, whatever it is, and just play them. So hear it in your inner ear, what that sounds like and work it out on your guitar. Work it out on one string, work it out with whatever position you're in. Just try and do that. And that's how I got started. I mean, I was trying to work out fairly simple riffs and stuff back in the day by the likes of, Metallica or Iron Maiden melodies or Guns N' Roses songs and stuff. And it is a skill that you can easily develop. It just takes work. It's simple, but not easy. It's a skill that just requires a lot of work and a lot of dedication and some patience. And it does annoy me, and I'm not mentioning any names, but I had someone recently come for a lesson, and he said, I'm not as naturally talented as someone like you, where I can work stuff out by ear and people just are able to hear it. And I get what he's saying, that his ear training or his aural skills are weak, but to say that it's because I'm naturally talented or someone else is naturally talented is a little bit reductive and is almost a little bit insulting, to be honest. Whenever people dismiss someone's skills, something they're good at, as being naturally talented, it kind of pisses me off, because as a musician, as a guitarist, as someone who practices a lot of things, like I practice a lot of skills on guitar, I've trained my ears to be able to recognize notes, phrases, chords, etc. Chord movement. I've trained my ears to do that. I was not born with perfect pitch. I was not born with any natural talent. One of the least academically gifted people you can come across, unfortunately. But that's just what it is. That is how it is. So again, without going off on a massive rant about it, don't dismiss someone's hard-earned skills and their graft and everything as like, oh, they're just naturally talented. Pisses me off. And some people use that as an excuse because they can't do something, so they'll just ascribe it to someone's natural talent or something, and that's simply not the case. And I've like I said, I've worked with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of guitar players over the years and help them develop this skill to be able to work songs out by ear, work out riffs and their music by ear. But I've also worked in other fields, such as health and fitness and martial arts. And yes, there are people that sometimes have a little more of a proclivity towards certain things, and they're able to do certain things easier than others, but they're not naturally talented in it, in my opinion. They work bloody hard to be able to do that. Anyway, massive rant there. Feel free to just skip that bit completely. What I want you to get used to doing is hearing single notes. So find a note on your guitar, play it, hear it, sing it back. Move around and play other notes, but always come back to that note. That's it. Just being able to hear single notes and recognize single pitches will probably get you about 95% of the way there. So if I'm working out some complex like guitar solo by ear, let's say I'm writing it out, tabbing it out with Guitar Pro or whatever, it always starts one note at a time. I don't even listen to I do listen to the whole thing, but I don't listen to the whole thing and just immediately start writing it out. I'm singing it and playing it one note at a time, slowing it down. Okay, I found that note. Then where does it go? Does it go higher or lower from there? And then I try to figure it out from there. This is all before you're going for chords and things like that. There are certain chord types that obviously you will probably recognize. Okay, a major chord is happy and a minor chord is sad, or like, oh, what's this chord? This sounds weird. It might be that you're naturally drawn more towards those quirkier sounds, let's say, because you've heard it in like a Jimi Hendrix song or something, or you've heard a certain band that you like use types of chords that you like, so you already know what they sound like. So it's the same way that you learn a language. You build your vocabulary, you build a mental, like a notebook almost, vocabulary. And you recognize that sound as being that, and then you label that sound. Anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves there. Hear the single note, work out a single note. If you can't work out exactly what chords are in the song, hear the bass movement. What's the root note doing? Train your ears to follow just the root movement or the bass notes. That's pretty much it. That's all I'm going to say on the matter, really. So it honestly changed everything for me as a wannabe musician who went from knowing nothing. That's the single biggest skill that got me to where I am. And, like I said, I'm so lucky that I make money from music, especially in this day and age. But I've also worked really bloody hard at it. So to pay my bills with my ears, basically. So you might think that ear training is this academic thing that, music students or jazz nerds do. It's not. It's not. And it's not about passing a test. It's not about getting a qualification. It's about hearing something and knowing instantly how to play it on your instrument. So I started working out things by ear when I was young, when I started playing guitar, like 14, 15 or whatever. Eventually you stop guessing, you just know it. You just know instinctively where that note is. You know what scale someone's using. You know what phrase someone's playing in a solo. You know what chords they're using. So don't skip this. Don't skip this. 95% of your progress will come from training your ears. Single note recognition, hearing how the distance from one note to another, and knowing what chord feels like home when you're learning a song. Okay, we're in the key of this, or okay, we're starting with this chord. So which chord feels like home? So if you've started work on some of the ear training stuff from last time, and you try and find the single notes that I'm playing, stick with it, because it's not like kiddie stuff. It's not like really basic. It's stuff that I still practice to this day, whether I'm learning a song, whether I'm working out a song for someone else, whether I'm transcribing a song. It's okay, I can hear the single notes, I can hear the bass movement. It doesn't matter like what it is, like it all comes back to ear training. And yes, I use tools. I use things like Moises AI stem splitter app, but that is to use more as a practice tool for playing along to and for creating backing tracks and stuff for you guys. I don't want to rely on it to hear exactly how someone's playing something. That is good, and that's good that I can use that that level of detail when I'm teaching a song, but I don't use it to train my ears, because you want to be able to train your ears in context. You want to be able to listen to a song and pick out what the guitar is doing amongst the vocals, the bass, the drums, everything else in the mix. The same way you're able, hopefully, to pay attention to a conversation that you're having in public with someone. So you don't rely on AI to strip out all the external noise when you're trying to focus on something or someone. I know it's hard because I struggle with that massively in public spaces where there's a lot of noise. I really struggle to hear the person in front of me sometimes. And that could be like a neurological thing, or it could be like an auditory thing, or it could be that my ears just fucked from playing music really loud for about the last 20 years. So, but I'm still able to do it. Still able to do it. So you don't have to rely on isolated tracks and things to work out what someone's playing. Try and do it in the context of the song, in the context of the mix. Anyway, I've waffled on for way longer than I thought I was going to. And thank you so much for paying attention. Thank you so much for giving me your time on this. And we are going to work on ear training in earnest. And again, it's not the it may not be the thing you want to work on, but it is the thing you need to work on. And I'm really looking forward to seeing and hearing the progress that you'll make once you start to just implement that tiny thing of just recognizing the single notes, recognizing bass notes, working out really simple little melodies and stuff by ear to start with. Or simple riffs, it can be whatever you want. Just don't jump into trying to work out like an Yngwie Malmsteen solo or something. All right, any questions, give me a shout. Big love, and I'll speak to you soon.